Good morning, Cedar River Elementary School. Today is Friday. It is December 8th, and here are your daily announcements. First of all, happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah started yesterday, and today we are going to have a very, very, very busy morning announcements. We have some information from Mrs. Heisinga and Miss Nixich, who are going to talk about our school play for grades 2 through 5. We have your first student leadership clip today to talk about our upcoming Spirit Days. And we have our Otter Paw Friday, our lunch menu for the week. So many great things. Next week is a full week, but Friday will be the last day before we have our winter break. We will then return back to school on January 2nd. So many exciting things going on around the building, on and in around the building, as we prepare for our winter break. Want to share a little bit about recess expectations and the bathrooms outside. Just a reminder that those bathrooms are for when you need to use the restroom and not as a hideaway place or to play in or to jump around. In fact, there are some cones where our kindergartners line up, and those cones kind of show where our recess area ends. So we should be playing on the other side of those cones. Also, if our recess teachers have the field blocked off or areas of the blacktop, that is for your safety and for your dryness. We want to make sure that you stay dry. I know Nurse Chelsea has been very busy this week. Lots of slips and slides and changing of clothes. We do our best to make sure that you get outside and get some fresh air. We know that the weather sometimes can battle us, but we want to make sure that we don't have to close any other programs in order to have indoor recess. So just so you know, recess team does a good job of monitoring that outside and letting us know when it gets too wet, too icy, too yucky, or just not safe. That's all I'm going to say today, and I'm going to lead it off with the rest of our team today for our daily announcements. I will see you back on Monday with another clip from another group of your amazing student leadership team. Until then, it's a great day to be an otter, and at the end, turn to your teacher for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Today,
Cedar River Student Leadership
is presenting
our first ever Spirit Day,
Holiday Comfy Cozy Day
on Friday, December 15th.
Hello, Otters. It's Mrs. Heisinga and
Miss Nixich.
And we are getting ready for our next school play. This year, we get to do one, so we did pick one with a good amount of characters. I think we have 35 characters. We picked one called Twice Upon a Time. See what they did there? Twice Upon a Time. I love it! Your applications are going to be available in the office starting Monday, December 11th. You can come and get them. You have to come down and gather it yourself. That's showing us that you are responsible. You have to ask your teacher to come down to the office and gather the application. It has information on the front that your mom or dad or guardian is going to need to read and understand, because our practices are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays every week until our big performance in March, on March 29th. So you have, starting on Monday, December 11th, you can come to the office and gather an application form to try out for the school play. They are due on January 4th. Whew, that's a long time. But remember, we have this really cool thing built in there called the winter break. So you can come back from winter break and think about it a little bit more and grab one and then turn it in, as long as it's in before January 4th. If you turn it in on the January 5th, we have to say no thank you. Okay, so January 4th, hard deadline. Oh, Otters, we are so excited to have you come and be a part of this great adventure of acting. Thank you, and
Thanks,
we'll
Otters.
see you soon. Bye.
Hi,
Otters. I have a special guest this week. I have Miss Nixich with me. She's going to read the 3 through 5. All right, I have 1 to Kajori and Miss Isgrig for being on task. 1 to Ben and Miss Bantel for doing a great job during the assembly. 1 to Stanley and Miss Bantel for also doing a great job in the assembly. 1 to Grace and Miss Dressler for being excellent for the guest teacher. 1 to Paul and Mrs. Huerta for having great behavior. 1 to Elliot and Mrs. Turian for showing respect and making good decisions and solving problems, showing the 03s. 1 to Annika and Miss Angeline for being inclusive and kind at lunch. 1 to Sarah and Miss Oliphant for being good for the guest teacher. And 1 to Jack and Miss March for participating appropriately in class.
Awesome. I have Shrihan and Miss Landry for helping out. Brenton and Mrs. Cassidy for doing a great job staying focused. Mahika and Miss Kalb for being a good leader and a friend to others. Ryan and Miss Huizinga for being on task during mindfulness from Mrs. Johnson. Bennett and Miss Gregson's. Bennett has been choosing to have grit and a great attitude. Ojas and Miss Thompson for being a risk taker. Amberly and Mrs. Molnar for being on task in math. Dewiwi and Miss Nixich for getting your planner signed. Kaya S. and Miss Rodriguez for turning high quality work and always having an amazing attitude. Amir and Mrs. Osborne for being a positive teammate in PE. Capri and Mrs. Rodriguez for helping with the kinders and being an excellent role model. And Emma and Miss Osborne for working hard on missed work after an absence.
I have 1 more. This doesn't have a teacher's name, though. So if it's your kid in your class, make sure you let us know. Make sure we put our teachers' names, though. So I have 1 to Axel for listening to a lesson and playing safely in PE and being such a good role model in the gym. Nice job, my friends. Nice job, Otters. See you next week.
Good morning and welcome back to Cedar River Cafe. This will be our last week of the year for our menus. So on Monday, the 11th, we're going to have cereal with mozzarella breadsticks. And on Tuesday, we're going to have a new item on Tuesday. It is a breakfast wrap with turkey and egg sausage for breakfast. And for lunch, we're going to have chicken nuggets. And on Wednesday, the 13th, we're going to have our English muffin sandwich with turkey sausage. And for lunch, we're going to have a French toast with cheese omelet. And for Thursday, the 14th, we're going to have, what is that? Oh, it's a cinnamon roll. And for lunch, we're going to have a cheeseburger. And on our last day of the year, Friday, we are going to have pancakes on a stick. For breakfast and for lunch, we will have pizza. See you soon. See you next year.